So lesson 3-3 is on estimating products. You know what estimating means, right?
Yes.
If you're estimating, you take both factors and you round them. And then you get your estimate. Products means multiplication. So the good thing is that today's lesson takes two previous lessons that you already know and it just combines them. So that should be no problem. You already know how to estimate, correct?
Yes.
Yes? By rounding. And you already know how to find products, especially when it's by a power of 10, 100, or 1,000. So quick review, if you're going to if you are going to multiply and you're going to find multiplication patterns, what do you do when you're multiplying by a power of 10, 100, or 1,000?
The board.
What are you going to do? First step is what? Multiply the non-zero digits. Then what's the second step? Add up all the zeros and you put them in your answer, right? Easy peasy. We're going to take both of those concepts, we're going to combine them into this lesson as soon as my board comes back on.
Your board.
Yes, it's not being very cooperative today. Here we go. All right. It's connecting to Lisa Van Zandt. Here we go. All right, let's look at this example. What is the approximate cost? When you see approximate cost, estimate, or about how much, should you be actually doing the computation?
Yeah.
No. Approximately, about how much, that means you're getting a rough estimate. So some of you on your test for chapter 2, when it said estimate about how much and you actually figured out the real answer, you got it wrong, because when it's asking you to estimate the approximate answer or the approximate cost, it wants you to round or estimate. What is the approximate cost of 114 sets of acrylic paint if one set costs $36.74? Estimate by rounding. All right, so first, if we were figuring this out by computation, what would our number sentence be for this problem? Who can tell me? I want all expo markers down. All right, if you decide to be doodling during the math lesson, you will owe me a dojo dollar. You should never touch your expo marker until we're doing the examples. During the lesson, I get to have all eyes, all ears up here for this 15 minutes. Most important part of math is right now during these 15 minutes. Okay, everybody should be able to tell me, in your head right now, think what is the math sentence for this problem? What is the approximate cost? Well, let's take that away. What if it just said, what is the cost of 114 sets of acrylic paint if one set costs $36.74? If you were actually figuring it out, what would it be? Only one person knows. Look up here. I'm going to wait for some more people. What is the cost? Skip the approximating. Skip the estimating. What is the cost of 114 sets of acrylic paint if one set costs $36.74? What would your math sentence be? If your hand is down, it means you have no idea what you would do to figure out the math expression or the math sentence. What would the expression be? It would really be called a number sentence because it has an equal sign, right? What's the equation? Because a number expression doesn't have an equal sign. So what would this be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you I've got now. If your hand is down, it means you don't know. So let's listen to Jackson. What would your number sentence be for this?
Isn't it because approximate?
No, remember I said we're going to pretend that approximate is not there. If it just, yes?
And 74 cents or dollars, or $36.74 times 114.
Yes. This is how much one set of paint costs. One set. We need 117 of them. So we need to multiply the cost of one times 114. Does everyone understand how we got there? Yes. Okay, so they're assuming you already know how to do that. You already know how to take a story problem and make an equation or an expression. But now, let's unerase this word. It says it wants the approximate cost. So look right here. Here they gave you how you would do it if you're doing it not estimating. And then the first step is to round each factor to its greatest place. You know how we talked about this, right? When you estimate, you want to go to the greatest spot, which is the spot that is furthest which direction?
To the very, very left.
Very left, the very first spot. This is its furthest spot right here. You're going to underline the furthest spot. Don't do it to the nearest dollar unless it says to the nearest dollar. But if it says give an approximate cost, you go to the greatest place. This is important. The greatest place. All the way over to here and all the way over to here. You're going to round. Do you already know how to round?
No.
You do. So if you have this number, what is this going to round to? 3674. Look at the spot you have underlined. Look to the right. What number is to the right of the underlined spot? A 6. What does that tell the 3 to do? Bump it up to a?
4.
And what happens to all these digits?
0.
So now you have $40. Right here, this 1 told that one, stay the same, and everything afterwards becomes a
0.
Now look at this. 40 times 100 is exactly like the problems we did for our lesson yesterday. Now, first step is multiply the non-zero digits. What is 4 times 1? 4. And then you add up all the zeros, 1, 2, 3, and you add them to your product. And you get an approximate answer of $4,000. Okay? The reason that we're learning estimating is because you need to do this in life sometimes. Joey, pencil down. Put that away. Because if you do that, then you don't hear the math lesson, right? Okay, now, in my head, I could look up here easily and say, this is about 100. This is about $40. 100 times 40 is 4,000. And I can do it just like that, without an iPhone, without an Android device, without a calculator, without paper pencil. I might need to figure that out quick. If I'm an art teacher and they're like in a meeting and they say, okay, about how much are your paints going to cost? I don't have maybe time to get out my calculator. I just say about 40 times about 100. They're going to be about $4,000. You need to be able to estimate. It's a very, very important life skill. All right? Again, like I said, some math things you don't need to know unless you're going to go into a math field or a science field. But estimating, you want to know that. So let's look at some more. This is one way. One way to estimate products is by rounding. There's a second way, and it's called clustering. Okay, I think this is a new concept, so watch closely. Juliet, I'm going to ask you to keep everything out of your hands. I don't want you coloring. You may bring me $1, dojo dollar. Thank you. If you choose to doodle during math class, you are going to owe me $1 because it is that important to me that you pay attention. And the first time I'll go cheap on everybody, it'll be $1, but the second time, $5. All right. All right, everybody. Look up here. Here's a new concept. You need to know how to estimate by clustering. What is a cluster? What does that mean? Anybody know what's the word cluster mean? Kurt?
It means like a bunch of things in a group.
Mm-hmm. Good. Anybody else have a good definition of a cluster? Yes. Clustering.
Bunch of things together.
Bunch of things together. Yes.
For example, a star cluster is a bunch of stars like put together.
Bunch together.
Bunched together.
Yep. Good. All those are great examples. We are going to round by clustering. So we're obviously going to kind of group something together, right? So watch this. I kind of like this. This is one of those math things that I kind of like because I think it's pretty easy and it's kind of fun. It says it wants you to estimate. Look at all these sums. Think of all the computation and all the numbers you'd have to be punching into your phone. 501 plus 498 plus 510 plus 508 plus 485 plus 493. Now, sometimes a sum has a number of addends that all kind of cluster around a certain number. You're going to estimate the sum by multiplying that number by the number of addends. Okay, let's look at these numbers. What are they all clustered around? What number are these numbers all kind of gathered around? Okay, look at those. I'm trying to make this bigger so we can see it better, but it's not working. There we go. Look at all these numbers. Look at those. They're all grouped around what number? Gigi? Look it. That's pretty close to 500. And so is that. 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 So now, what if we change them all to 500s? Then we could just say 500 times how many of them are there? Joey, are you looking up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 500s. Can we just take 6 times 500 and get an idea?
Yes.
Yes? So look right here. 6 addends. We're going to say that they're each about 500. Now we're back to yesterday's lesson. Take the 2 non-zero digits, 6 times 5, you get 30. And how many zeros are we going to add? 2. So 1, 2, right?
No.
What did I do wrong?
Because you already had
You
it.
have to
There's a zero in the sum, so you have to add
you have to
another
add
one.
2.
Yes, this was our product of the non-zero digits. We have to add 2 zeros. Don't make that mistake. Now, are you ready for some examples?
Nope.
Yes, you are. We've got 10 minutes of examples on your whiteboard. Here we go. I would like you. Okay.
Whoa.
Now, these ones, first, we are going to do these estimating by rounding. These are not clustering. These are rounding. When you estimate by rounding, you round to which spot? The greatest
To the left.
place. To the left. So do number 1. To the greatest spot to the left. You shouldn't need to do, it should be pretty quick. 10 seconds should be good enough. Let me do it myself. Yes. Just give me your answer. Yep, good. Yes, good. No. Yes. No. How many zeros, Abby? Look at that. Yep. No.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes. So look at 88 became what? 90. 51 became.
50.
We multiplied the non-zero digits. 9 times 5 is 45, and then we added on the 2 zeros. 4,500. Let's go ahead and do number 4. Number 4. 10 seconds to do number 4.
I can't see it.
I can't see it.
All right, see if you got this number. 127 rounds to 100. 46 rounds to 50, and your answer should be
5,000.
5,000. Anybody get it wrong that has a question about it? You get it right? Yes?
I don't know what I did, but I got 6,000.
Well, here's what I want you to do, guys. When you are rounding, listen, on your assignments, on any quizzes, on any tests, I want to see what you're doing. So I want to see both of the factors rounded. I want to see what you did. Because then I can say, oh, Juliet, you rounded this to 80. It should have been 90.
I know what I did now.
Okay,
I
good.
didn't multiply, I added the 5.
You added. Okay. It's good to find what you did wrong. Why? Because it will help you not make the same mistake again. All right? Here we go. Did I freeze that? Yes. Okay. All right. So now, all right. Next one. We are going to next do number 5. Sorry, guys. All right, let's do this one. Here we go. 392 rounded to the furthest spot is going to be 400. And then 78 to the furthest spot is what? 80. Now, 4 times 8 is 32. And the 1, 2, 3 zeros makes it.
32,000.
Raise your hand if you got it. Raise your hand really high, really high. If you didn't get it, what did you do wrong? Shh, don't talk. Jackson,
I wrote 24,000. I don't know.
you did 8 times 4 is 24 instead of 32. Okay, so that was just a math fact error. Okay, next question I want you to do. You've got 10 seconds to do number 7.
I can't see.
All right, that's it.
Wait.
685 to the furthest spot is.
700.
Keep your boards up. I want to see you got it right. 323 rounds to 300, and then your answer is 210,000. Who got it right? Raise your hand. I'm gonna see.
Jackson got 2,100.
Jackson.
I'm just not good at this.
You're fine. You're just Jackson. You're just making silly errors. Okay. You got it, Jackson. Here we go. This one's you. All right, Jackson. You got this next one. I believe in you.
Jackson.
Okay. Now,
I like Brent.
ladies and gentlemen, listen. Listen. The next one I give you, when it is money, money has to be written with a $sign, a decimal point, and 2 places past the decimal, right? A place for dimes and a place for pennies. So, you're going to estimate to the furthest, greatest number, but you are going to write the answer. I will only take your answer if it is written with it as money. Are you ready? You're going to do number 10. I'll give you a little extra time. I'll give you extra time. All right, that's it.
Yeah, I have no clue. What's wrong with the speaker?
Okay, listen, please. All right. Put your boards down just for 1 second. Just keep your answer there. Let's look at this. If you have $4.89 and you round it to the furthest, what do you get? You get $5. And if you round 29 to the furthest, what do you get?
$5.30.
I'm sorry. What do you get if you round 29 to the greatest place? 30. So if you take $5 and you multiply it by 30, you take 5 times 3, the non-zero digits, and you get 15. And then you also take 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. Now, where do you put the decimal point? Shepherd?
After zeros to the right, 2 zeros to the left.
How you do this, watch for money. Joey, looking here. Why don't you give me that? Because I think that's just how you're having a hard time now looking at that right now. When you are multiplying decimals, you have to match up your answer to the problem. So you're going to count up how many places past the 0. 1, 2. There's none here, right? No decimal. No decimal. 2 places. So you're going to go 1, 2. You want to leave 2 decimal places just to match. And put your dollar sign in. $150. Who got that? Yes. If you didn't, what did you do wrong? Do you know what you did wrong?
Jackson got it.
Jackson. Yes.
Wait, yes.
Yes. No, we'll walk on the way down. Okay, let's do one more, guys, and then we need to do the clustering ones when we get back. So, actually,
It's 9.
all right, I'm gonna wait for you to get done talking. I would like you to figure out how to estimate this by clustering. Oh no, it went away. Why? This takes too much time. Okay, estimate by clustering. Here is the problem. You're going to do problem number 13. Estimate number 13 by clustering. I'll give you the full I'll let you do this one without music, just so you can focus, and then we'll do music for the next one. Estimate by clustering. What are these all grouped around? And then how many of them are there? Don't just guess the number. You have to multiply it by how many add-ins there are. And what's your answer? What are these all grouped around? 30. And then you're going to multiply it by how many of them there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is 30 times 9?
270.
Yes. Okay, the next problem you are going to do is problem number, you're going to have 30 seconds to do it. Problem number 15. Okay, if you got 7,000. Because all these are around 700, and there were 10 of them, 7 times 1 is 7, and then you add 1, 2, 3 zeros, 7,000. Listen carefully. I would like you to leave everything on your table lined up for PE. Thank you, thank you. Abby, make sure you go to the office, okay?